Well, howdy, howdy, howdy. Finally, senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, a brand new day. And remember, no matter who you are valid. Thumbs up for that. First thing I'm going to start off with is my favorite comment from yesterday, or even this morning, is from somebody who said, "Why does YouTube recommend me this video? Why?" And it was my yesterday's vlog. And the answer, I would assume, is because YouTube. I'm glad it's being pushed and recommended, but if you're not into old guys vlogging about their lives, that's gonna be rough. But still, thumbs up. Thank you for watching. If you are still watching, I have some things written down, plus I have all sorts of stuff here that I want to talk about. I mentioned how I want to go and start doing some yanking up of weeds and such. I have these leather work gloves now. These are the gloves I'm going to be using. I also have purchased, and it was cheap because it's just a block of this foam stuff. It's the kneeling pad. It's got a thing you punch out there so you can carry it easily. But you set it down, and then you put your knees on this. I can get up and down. That's not a problem. I don't have knee issues. But when my bones press against my meat, when I'm against the ground, it hurts. So yeah, it hurts. When I'm standing on bare feet, just on like a concrete floor, the bone pressure of my bones smashing my foot meat against the ground hurts. So I need something like this so I can actually get down on my knees and start yanking stuff out of the ground. So yeah, it's just a big block of foamy stuff. So I got that. I got the gloves. All thing I need now is hopefully they have stuff like trowels and the like, as I'm sure I'll need like that. Thumbs up. The other thing I wanted to mention is, well, a couple things. Over the space of several years now, I have been collecting these solo game book war books from this fellow Mike Lambo, and that's starting from the latest and going to the farthest. So I'm going to start here. I've talked about these before, but I don't have them all. But as you saw, there's quite a stack. Is starting from things like the battles of Normandy, and I have to move my keyboard out of the way because to Ghosts of the Jungle, Vietnam type thing, and battles of medieval Britain, to Beaches for the Brave, and the Race to however you pronounce that French name. And then there's Hostage Rescue Squad, where he's starting to branch out there, isn't he? To the battles of the English Civil War, back to the basics. And then the assault on Vimy Ridge, all the way up to a lone Sherman tank, to Quests for the Brave, a fantasy game, to Outpost 2099, obviously science fiction, Fields of Normandy 2, Lone Astro Tank, jumping from genre to genre, and Tank GP, just a racing game of a tank, to Battles of Napoleonic England, the Long Range Recon Patrol, Solacia, the Wizard of Doom, and I gotta hurry up and get this done because my shoulder is really hurting, Spiders from Outer Space, up to the Fields of Normandy XL, Lone Sherman, the Pacific, the Battles of Kursk, back to Rifle Squad US at Omaha Beach. They started off pretty simple in the beginning with, like 5, 6, 7 pages of instructions, and then going on into the actual game. We're up to 45 pages telling you how the game works. And then you can go on to the map with the AI for the game. They've gotten pretty intense. up to Selassie 2, the Ice Demon, and then the last one I have, Battles of the American Civil War. That's a lot of games. That's a lot of books. Ow! That's been a lot of years I've been collecting these now, because I can't buy them very often. I don't even get one a month. So it's been a time, a couple of years now. Yay, but I just wanted to talk about that because I'm talking about like physical game stuff now. I want to show these off first. On the cards thing, Dungeon Runner. There is the adventure with the lowly thief. And then of course there's the adventure with the spiritual shaman. And the adventure with the paladin of truth. And then there's also the adventure with the Amazon warrior. And the adventure with the arcane wizard. And there's the adventure with the knight of valor. All the way up to the adventure of the barbarian berserker. And the adventure of the enchanted beastmaster, and the adventure of the wayward warrior. Now, of course, the thing about this they stress is mix and match. When you get one deck, yeah, it's an adventure. Each one of the decks has a campaign of 9 adventures that go with them. But you are encouraged to make your own quests and adventures. If you have more than one deck, mix and match them. They have little symbols down at the bottom so that if you ever decide that you want to put them back together again, where is it? Here it is. You've got that symbol on each of this deck of cards. But you are well encouraged to play mix and match. They have 15 decks that are adventure decks. And they have 3 in each set. So I've got 9 decks. There's another 6 adventure decks. And then they have 7 filler decks, which is they have monsters, treasures, certain types of stuff. They don't have a specific theme, but they're cards that will be helpful. So that's good. Now I wanted to point out that I hate throwing things away. So I've been keeping the boxes because I don't just want to toss them. And these decks, when you put card protectors on them, are too big to fit inside the boxes. So I got to keep the boxes separate, and I got a couple boxes of these because it's not just this kind of thing that's out of the box. I also have things like this one card dungeon. It's an expansion. It comes with like an extra card and a few, very, very little actually comes in the box. So I just put it in the main thing. But I don't want to throw the box away. It's kind of cool. So I'm keeping the box. And then the last one that's out of the box is, here is the difference. I don't have the deck in front of me. But here is the difference between a card game like Sherlock Solitaire, where you're setting out cards and you're trying to match cards so that you can clear a table, and this sort of thing, which is a deck of cards, and it's a card game as well. But this type of card game, you're trying to match cards to make a hand, whether that hand is 2 cards or 5 cards, or you're trying to match a bunch. The idea is you're trying to clear things by making a hand of cards, or you're gathering a hand of cards to play against the bad guys. And this type of thing is turn over the card, resolve the card. If you survive, turn over another card. Each card is an encounter and a room. Each card just helps you make a hand of cards. This one's okay. It's kind of fun and I enjoy it. But deck building things and match a card to collect them and do that sort of thing, this, again, turn a card, resolve a card, go to the next card. Each card is an encounter / room, and I can handle that. My brain has troubles with card games, where the card is an integral part of the game and that, you're like you're playing poker. I do not understand poker. I have spent I'm turning 63 in a couple months. So if I say I've started trying to learn this when I was 15 years old, what's 63 minus 15? Well, that's 53, that's 47. About 47 years I've been trying to understand poker. But my neurodivergence just goes, what the fuck? And I don't get it. So that's the way life is for that. Card games where the cards are like this kind, okay. Building a deck of cards to play against someone else randomly, and sparks coming out of the side of my head as I short circuit. Thumbs up on that. Is there anything else on the physical front that I really wanted to talk about? And the answer is no. So I'm going to talk about some of the stuff that I've written down. When I played the game and posted Supermarket Simulator, I talked a lot about clankers. I was using it as a slur because that's the common slur for robots these days. And the robots, well, they're all robots AI because it's a computer game, but some of the characters in Supermarket Simulator, the textures don't load right, and so they look really artificial and fake. Robots, clankers. Thing is, as much as I dislike what we're doing with robotics and AI and tech in this world, in this timeline, I love tech. I have seen charts where they say Generation X goes all the way back to 1960. I have seen charts, arm is cramping. I have seen charts that put boomers all the way up to 1964. But if we choose 1964 as the arbitrary cutoff, that's only 2 years away from when I was born. And I was not raised as a boomer because things had changed. It was 1962. Things were drastically being altered. And I was raised first generation Gen X. I do not like or understand the boomer mentality. And while Gen X can bug me too, I will claim Gen X over boomer because, again, 2-year difference, and I was raised first generation Gen X. So I'm going to go with that. But, again, I love tech. I was in the Air Force 1983 when I was in Germany, and I bought my first computer. And I have been riding the tech wave ever since. I love tech. I love the possibility and hope of it. Unfortunately, again, we live in this timeline. In the multiverse, with many worlds and all that, I think that there are worlds that things did work out. We just happen to be in the one where it branched off in the areas that it didn't. Because you only need one split. Things worked out right, things didn't work out right. Okay, there's now an infinite number of worlds going on forever, an infinite amount of time where things didn't work out. And then, of course, there's an infinite amount of worlds in an infinite amount of time where it did. We just happen to be over here. Life is life. The current incarnation of AI and all that, yeah, sucks. And I use the term clanker as a slur because I think it's funny. But I love tech. I wish we just didn't have groups like Elon Musk and all that in charge. But last night I also tried to go to bed, and just before I went to bed, I decided to do something foolish. I had, a high school friend that I stayed in contact with through the years because we had an amateur press association that I ran and then passed on to him and passed on to others from there, where we contributed to that. And then, of course, the internet, where social contact and media, we stayed in contact. Except ever since I got married, things started drifting away because when you get married, you do that. But after my wife died, he came to my memorial. He and his wife were two of my greater friends growing up. And then my alcoholism put a wedge in that. But then after I got sober, I was talking with them again. I made the mistake of looking him up on Facebook to see what he's up with today. And I found out he's gone full MAGA conspiracy theorist. Joy. And on top of that, he got divorced and is married to somebody else. I don't know when it happened. I have no ideas how to contact his ex. I have no ideas if she would want to even talk to me. I mean, again, we've known each other since we were like 17. Because I started going to conventions, science fiction conventions. My friend was going to conventions. His future wife was going to conventions. They hooked up and we were going to conventions together. And then I find out that happened. And it hit me with a vast burst of anxiety. Just as I was trying to lay down and go to bed. So after I lay down, I had to get up several times, go out for walks, until finally, I was able to fall asleep. I hate anxiety. I especially hate anxiety for something like that. Anxiety for something that's actually threatening is fine. But anxiety doesn't do that. It just picks up something, and then tells the rest of your consciousness and body, this is important because if we don't take care of it, we're gonna die. Thanks. But I finally fell asleep. I didn't get enough sleep. I am tired. And I thought I'd talk about this. I really want to go see the new Naked Gun movie. I liked the type of comedies that they were. Now, I really liked the first movie, Airplane, and I liked that type of movie. I've watched like Hot Shots, I think it was, with Val Kilmer, and where they were parodying, the whole airplane thing. I can't even remember what it is with Tom Cruise, but all those parody type films where absurdism and surrealism is king. I really like those. And then the movies of the Naked Gun stuff came out. Now, the Naked Gun movies with Frank Drebin came out after the 6-episode TV series of Police Squad, The Adventures of Frank Drebin. It wasn't called that, but that's Leslie Nielsen's character and who he played in the movies afterward. But the TV show was tight. You have to be tight. Every word has to be accounted for and has to bite if it's a joke. Everything has to be tight. And the first few movies, Airplane, the first one especially, they were tight. Some of this stuff they were still learning, like there's one scene that goes on way too long. Funny the first time, too long after that. But then there came the Police Squad movies, the Naked Gun movies, and those are so sloppy that everything is just loose. If you compare those to the earlier stuff, it is a downhill. And that makes me sad. And then I've been kind of looking forward to, as stated, the new Naked Gun movie. But what sold me on it, what told me I need to go see this movie, was when Liam Neeson, they're showing him just straight face, dead-eyed, as he's driving along in his car and the background scenery is moving. And then this hand comes in the window with a cup of coffee. So he just reaches up and takes it. And then the hand goes back off screen. That's absurd. That's surreal. And I knew at that moment that I had to see it. So I'm looking forward to it. Is it going to show here in Shelton? I don't know. I think we still have the Fantastic Four got pulled over because it was doing so well. So if it does, I'm going to go see it. And if you could like, comment, share, subscribe, that'd be very cool. Definitely a thumbs up. And if each and every one of my Patreon patrons, you are beautiful and awesome people. Thumbs up and thank you. If you've left me a comment, you too are beautiful and awesome in your own way. I read every comment that YouTube shows me. I thumbs up every comment I can. And if I can't, I give it a heart and I answer as many comments as possible. With my nerve compression, it is nowhere near as many as I would like. But keep checking back up to 24 hours after you've left a comment if you're expecting an answer, because I can take that long. It is important to show that you have been heard as well, and this is why I like to answer comments. I forgot to do my internet game of Marco and Polo. I did not write the names down, so I can't do that. So I am going to I'm not going to skip the word. If you could type Sherlock into the comments to show that you have watched this far, that would be very cool. For two reasons, of course. Again, blatant engagement farming, and it is nice to be heard. So do not feel obligated. It is not required in any way, shape, or form. But if you do play, thumbs up and thank you. It is appreciated. Well, hokily smokily, I've talked for a whole lot longer than I thought I was going to, so I'm calling this one off right now. I'm going to take care of myself as best I can. I have been overusing my arm while I've been talking. Ever since I severed my radial nerve, my body has decided it wants to be left-handed, or at least left-armed. And so when this starts feeling better, I go back into left arm dominant mode, which of course, while this is healing, overuses this stuff, so it gets... Anyway, though, hopefully you can get done the things that you would like to get done, because that is very cool and a very good thing. Definitely thumbs up. If not, please do not beat yourself up, because you deserve better. So, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side. And that is indeed, this and because, that is indeed a very, very good thing. Thumbs up for that. I didn't even put decorations like my plushies out here to be seen. I am just, not lazy, but you know how it goes. Click, and then click.